Hi, this is Dan from UserSpice.com. I'm here today to show you how to upgrade from UserSpice 3 to UserSpice 4. It's a completely different software package and the database is a lot different. If you look at the database here, you'll see there's 6 tables that all have this prefix on them. If you go to UserSpice 4, you can see there's a bunch more tables. They don't have the prefixes and they have a lot more information in a lot of the tables. So we need to do something called migrating, and the idea is that we're going to basically reshape your database into what it needs to be for UserSpice 4. So the number one thing you want to do is back up your files and back up your database. In fact, I'd go as far as saying you're a lot better off backing up your database and then duplicating it to a new database, and backing up your files and duplicating them to new files, just so you can kind of keep your old site working as a reference and then go fresh with US4. And so what we're going to do, we're going to walk you through that process. I wrote a tool to do it, and I think it works pretty cool. So when you look at our UserSpice 3 installation, it's just a normal 3.1 installation. It has some users, and everything is pretty stock. So if you've modified or made your own tables, the cool thing is this isn't going to touch that. So if you made a table called Jim's Friends, then it's not going to touch it. So we're just going to go in here, and I downloaded the install package from userspice.com, and we're going to go to step 1, and we're going to copy this step 1 folder into the root of our UserSpice 3 install. And so that's going to copy over the tools I wrote, and we're going to come over here to UserSpice. This is the old installation, and I'm going to type in step 1. And so what's going to happen is I'm presented with some information. It's going to check my system, make sure I have the requirements for UserSpice 4. Gives me a link to check out some documentation and stuff like that. It gives me the license, which basically tells you that it's not my problem. If it doesn't work, you should have backed it up. So anyway, we're going to hit continue, and then we're going to fill in our database credentials. And this is just for the migration process. So I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to put in that, and I'm going to put my username as root. There's no password on mine. I'm going to put the database, which is called migrate. My prefix is that UC underscore that you see, haha, get it, right here. And so if yours is different, you'll want to change it. And so I'm going to hit this button that says test settings and migrate database. So when I hit that, it tells me that it was successful, the connection, and that everything has been completed, and tells me I can go back to the instructions. So now what happens, if I come here, my site is going to be completely broken. It's not going to work at all. And so it's time to go on to step 2. What we're doing is we're going to be changing out the bulk of these files. So if you basically, the rule of thumb is if it's a UserSpice file and you didn't modify it, you can just delete it. Just throw it away. It doesn't matter. If you look at the file structure between UserSpice 3 and UserSpice 4, all these files were in your root, but in version 4, everything is pretty much in these 3 folders right here. And so none of these folder names line up. So you could just dump this on top and leave it all there, but then you're going to have multiple login files and all that kind of garbage. So if you didn't modify it, feel free to delete it. So in our case, we can actually delete all of this. Now, there's a good chance that you have some kind of site or you have something there. So don't delete anything that's important to you. So we're going to delete all that. And then I'm going to drop this new one in here. Now, let me see here. We're lagging a little bit. Let's try that one more time. I always have to have some kind of demo fail. There we go. Okay, so the reason why this is renamed .bak, it assumes that you already have an index file there. Because this is a demo, I didn't have a file there. So anyway, the next thing we need to do is set up our database connection. And for UserSpice 4, there's a tool that does that for you. But because we are doing this manual upgrade, you're going to have to do that yourself. I didn't write a tool to do that. I already did the hard work. So what's going to happen here is you're going to put your path in here. Now, I would say, just to start off with, if you've installed it in a subfolder, I would just do this for all 4 places. So I would come in here and just call them all whatever that subfolder is. The idea behind this is that, you know, you could have one, if you're on localhost, you'd be in this folder. On your real one, you'd be in that folder. like on your live server, you'd be in that one. We're going to go ahead and just do all 4 just to keep everything safe. You're going to put your database connection in here. So my table or my DB is called migrate. If you want to, you can come in here and set your copyright thing. So I could do whatever you want to do. Your database, your old database prefix is there, and that's kind of cool if you want to use it still. Like if you have an old, if you have some old tables that have prefixes, you can leave it there. So anyway, to figure out where we're at, basically, if you look here, your old database that looked like this, that had these 6 tables, now looks like this, and so all of your stuff has been updated to the new format. So we're going to come over here, and hopefully we won't have another demo fail. And we're right there, and so I should be able to actually just log in, and so everything looks good until you get here. And the reason why is because in your UserSpice 3 installation you had 17 pages or however many pages you had, but they were different and had different file names and locations. So what you need to do is you need to come in here once to the manage them thing. Just make sure you refresh the page. All your new pages will be here, and now if you come back to the admin panel, all will be right in the world. And so that's kind of cool. So anyway, there's going to be some differences to the way you program in UserSpice 4 versus UserSpice 3, so you'll want to check out the documentation and some future videos on how to do that. But basically what I've done is I've created a complete upgrade. One of the other neat things is even like your, if you come in here and look at the, let's look at the profiles, it automatically created a bio of just bio for everyone. So every user is already upgraded. Every user has everything that a UserSpice 4 person would have had. And so that's pretty cool. One last thing is if you are upgrading from version 2 or version 3, you only want to upgrade using this package. Anything else you have will not work. The database is too different. You're going to break things. Go from UserSpice 4, go to from UserSpice 3 to UserSpice 4.0.0c through this upgrade package, and then from there you can upgrade to anything else and all your database will automatically migrate. So it took about 7.5 minutes to get everything working, and we're good to go. Hope you're having a good day.